So, hello guys, welcome to a new DIY video from EFI. This is Share, your host for today. And in this video, we'll be learning about DIY power bank. So, I'll be telling you how you can make your own DIY power bank, and I'll show you how you can make a power bank which is configurable. Oh, I think there are some. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible. So you will
Okay,
keep having comments like this.
okay, it is very
Like,
confusing then.
okay, can you close the tab? You'll have the close option no, on the right side.
No, I don't have because while speaking, there was some pop-up and
Okay.
might just like on the
Um,
attention to that part.
okay. Unfortunately, I don't have access to stop the tabs, but there will be comments that are going on coming. Do you think you can try now
Okay,
that
I'll try to
you're
try.
don't bother about the comments?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Only when you're done with the whole thing,
Right.
then try to look at the comments.
Okay,
I'll
sure,
see
sure.
if you can stop the comments until then while
Mhm.
you're speaking. Okay, continue.
Okay, it's fine. Okay. So we'll see how we can make a DIY power bank. But not just that, we'll also learn about the battery pack and how it's made. Where that is the most important component in a power bank. And we'll make a customizable power bank which can be used for multiple projects or multiple purposes. Because power bank is not just for charging mobiles, it can be used for charging your phones. A power bank can be used for supplying power to the whole grid, like using solar banks, uh, solar farms. So I'll be showing you how you can make your own DIY battery pack, and then it's just a matter of time and few modules by which you can make your own power bank for whatever purpose you want. So without further ado, let's get started. So this is a power bank which I have already pre-made, and as you can see that there's a BMS module attached. Now I'll be telling you about the battery bank and the components of a power bank. So a power bank can be divided into three parts: the input side, which takes back power from a source, which is used for charging the battery. Then there's the battery pack itself, and the output side, which is basically power from battery pack to whatever device we need to charge or we need to run. So these are the three important components. Now we'll be using either power electronic modules or different linear voltage regulators to make sure that the battery pack receives a decent amount of power which it requires and also outputs the amount of power it needs to run the other device. And we'll see how this battery pack can be assembled. But before that, let's understand why we need a battery pack or why we are doing this video. So these days we have heard a lot of news that a lot of vehicles are catching fires. Every other day, a vehicle from XYZ manufacturer is just is catching fire. That's not something very good. Recently, Okinawa scooters are recalled as 3,000 pieces, and even the simple energy vehicle or pure EV, they caught fire, and because of that, there were a lot of backlash. So, why is that happening, and what's the reason? So, the main culprit is the lithium ion cell. These kind of lithium ion cell are really important but at the same time, they require a lot of attention, and we need to take really good care of these. So to make sure that these doesn't catch fire, we use a module called battery management system, because if you overcharge the cells, it might catch fire. If there's a high temperature, it might catch fire. If there's a short circuit, the cell can catch fire. If in a battery pack, two cells are having very drastic different voltages, the battery pack might catch fire. And this happens because there is something called thermal runaway. So thermal runaway, the temperature of the battery keeps on increasing and increasing, and the chemical uh, reaction inside the battery, inside the cell, keeps on happening, which increases the temperature, due to which it catches fire. And just to make sure that these things doesn't happen, the battery management system take care of that. It makes sure that the cells and all the individual cells in a battery pack and the battery pack as a whole have all the parameters which it requires. So it maintains the temperature, it maintains the voltage. It makes sure that in case of short circuit, the battery gets disconnected, or if the two cells are having very drastic different voltages, then it gets disconnected, and it protects the cell, and it protects the battery pack and the whole device. So later in this video, we'll also see how we can use a battery management system and how we can connect the battery management system. To make the video very short, because it's a live DIY session, so I've already assembled parts, but I'll show you how you can do that. And I'll show you the main important thing, that how you can make your own battery pack. So for making a battery pack, the most important component you need is a cell. So here I have a Samsung 26J cell. It is really a great cell. Apart from that, you need some battery stickers, uh, some battery holders. So these are like different modules which just joins like a Lego. So you can attach as many as you want for making your own battery pack. And apart from that, we also need nickel strip. I have to keep these things handy. Okay, so how we'll do, I'll just open this new battery pack and I'll show you. Okay, can we just, because I don't want to open the battery pack right now.
Yeah. Don't open it. I was
Okay.
just about to say, in the main session, no,
Mm-hmm.
uh, try not to bring the things with the cover into
Yes,
the
yes,
frame because it's
right.
looking too crowded.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, I thought that I'll just arrange the things, but I forgot to arrange the things
it's okay.
beforehand.
It's okay. I
Right.
can understand.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Take your time. The thing is, just don't bring too much of covered stuff
Yes,
because
yes,
there'll
sure,
be
sure.
glare falling and we can't see the item.
Right.
One good thing that Ashwini did last week was
Mm-hmm.
he uh, he showed the device or whatever component very close to the camera.
Okay. So
So
maybe
if
like
you're
bringing
able,
it to a very close.
exactly, not correct, not like so close, a bit, yeah,
Okay.
correct, like that.
Right.
And you have to, but because you're having like little internet, like here and there, it's taking time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're showing the component, you can just hold it for like 2 seconds so
Okay,
that it
okay.
focuses. Okay.
Right.
And one more thing is, like you were seeing, I was changing these in between, you
Okay.
know,
Mm-hmm.
based on how you're speaking
Mm-hmm.
and based on how the display is coming out on the live.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So just don't get confused with that. I hope you understand.
Right, right.
I'm trying to keep both you and the circuit in place on the screen.
Okay.
Okay. And one more thing that I wanted to share. So when you ask for questions, try. I'll turn off my channel. Just say I'm asking for. Just say questions are open, and then see if you can answer them.
Okay, okay. And how much time do we like spend on answering the questions, or for how long do we wait
Up
for answering
to
the questions?
up to the speaker, which is you. So it's up to
Okay,
you how you would like to answer the questions.
okay,
In terms of elaborating, again it depends on you. How,
okay,
suppose for example, I was planning to ask a question, what is BMS?
okay.
You can just expand it to battery management system, but you can't get into detail like that.
Right.
But most of the questions are not like so low key that I
Mhm.
asked. Basically they'll be like, what is this component that you used, What is the name of the component? Can we use, like for example, last week on Ashwini's DIY,
Mm-hmm.
Suresh ji asked, can we use MC041 processor instead of
Okay.
something else? Like that, you would get questions
Okay.
if there are questions. But mostly so far, it's mostly high in between.
Okay.
That's just the audience way of letting us know that they are watching the live.
Mm-hmm.
If there are questions,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, you'll be able to view it on the chat. Only
Okay.
thing is, don't bother about the chat until you're completely done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and when you say that, after the whole thing is over and you're
Mm-hmm.
done, then you can open the floor for questions, stating that,
Okay.
are there any more questions? So when you say, are there any more questions,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be turning off the circuit and you will
Okay.
be on screen again.
Was I stuttering a lot?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I didn't find that much.
Okay.
I was actually testing the live and the
Oh, okay.
graphics part of it. So, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't find that a lot. But I think one thing that personally I would suggest, try looking at the camera when you're
Okay.
answering the questions.
Right.
Because in between, when you were giving the intro, you were looking at the ceiling and it was quite obvious, like, especially when you're on the big screen. When you're on this screen, for example, with the circuit, then it's okay because
Right.
not much notice. But when you're completely on the screen, just try
Mm-hmm.
to look at the camera.
So I'll have to look at the camera or the screen. Like, uh,
Well, you're answering the
okay,
so
right now
once
I'm looking at this camera. Like,
yeah, so
with
I
the
would
right
say
view. Is it okay?
okay,
Or now I'm looking at the screen, like where I'm seeing myself.
okay, for example, just open the floor for questions.
Hi. So, if you have any questions, just shoot it up. Uh, okay. What is BMS? So BMS is basically a battery management system that take care of your battery pack. It makes sure that your whole battery pack and all the individual cells are maintained in the specifications that they should be in. Can we use normal 5-volt battery? Yeah, sure, we can use normal 5-volt battery, but it depends like for what purpose. So if you need to use a 5-volt battery, then you'll have to have the input from the power charger to battery as 5-volt. And for the output, if you want to use a single 5-volt, like if you want to charge a phone, okay, now this gets a bit confusing. Like if I'm
Okay,
answering something and
so
a lot
yeah,
of
correct.
questions are
So
coming.
this I wouldn't say is completely a challenge, but
Uh-huh. Okay,
I'm
so
just
maybe I can do this thing that when I'm answering, I should not focus on the right.
exactly
Thing.
just finish
Yeah.
the answer and then
And
come back
after
to
that,
the
only, yeah.
That's okay. So even if there is a gap, let's say if now, for example, you answer the BMS question, and then when you look back at the chat, there's a whole list of hi, nice DIY, nice power bank, blah 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 blah, and somewhere at the below there's another question. So
Mm-hmm.
that time you take to go through the comments and go to the next question, in the
Mm-hmm.
video part, I'll crop it off. In the live,
Oh,
we
okay.
can't help it. That's the whole
Right.
point of a live. But
Can
in
you
terms of the video,
send
stop
few
it.
more like messages? I just need to see whether it's scrolling. I can scroll it or not.
Yeah, that's it. So now the thing is, you're getting only one. You see, it just says EFY Tech Drive test, and then
Mm-hmm.
all the comments are from there. In
Right.
the evening, when we are live, you will have three channels like this:
Okay.
Facebook, LinkedIn, and what's
Oh,
another one?
okay.
YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll show you my screen. See. So, oh, if I okay, wait, I can't turn off the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let me see. Okay, I can't turn off the
Okay, it's
studio.
fine. It's
I'll send you a picture.
fine. Uh-huh.
Okay. So on in the evening, you will have three channels at the same time.
Okay.
So it's like a broadcast thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when there are people commenting on it, most of the time so far there have not been much
Mm-hmm.
comments in terms of hi, nice, and all of this, except for like few people at the beginning. They just tell hi, 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 5 minutes,
Okay.
and then that's it. Once you like practically start, there aren't many comments until and unless you open the floor for
Okay.
questions. So when you open the floor for questions is the maximum time you might expect questions.
Okay.
Okay. After you ask any more, let's say this maximum voltage we need for battery, you
Mm-hmm.
answer that. and then you'll be like, there's no more questions. So your next line would be any more questions.
Okay.
After you say that, just give it few
Mm-hmm.
minutes. So what I do is, while this is being live streamed,
Mm-hmm.
I also join as a viewer on all three
Okay.
channels, so that I can see if there are any more
Mm-hmm.
questions pending. Okay, just in case. Actually, it'll be carried forward here,
Mm-hmm.
but just in case they are not, I just check. So you can cross check, and if there are no more questions,
Mm-hmm.
I'll message you on private chat.
Okay.
Okay, that you can close the session, and you can close the
Okay.
session.
Okay. Got it.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so only thing is, I would say, I mean, I don't know. This week, I'm hoping, I'm praying that this will be a real hit. Uh, so, if there are many people who are coming in,
Mm-hmm.
most of the questions would come in the end. But during the session, you just have to make sure that I wouldn't say you'll be distracted,
Mm-hmm.
but just try to make sure not to look at the
The
chat
chat box,
box.
right?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if we can close the chat box.
Mm-hmm.
But um do you have the option where it says chat overlay?
No.
Well, can you share your screen
Yeah.
once,
Sure. So
just for this
yeah.
meeting? I know internet will go slow. I just want to see, because here I have an option of chat overlay
Okay.
to display the chat on the screen. Hmm. Okay. Uh, add channels, leave. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I turned it off. You can turn off your screen. Okay. So, do you want the questions to be displayed like this? We can also do this. New comments, for example, like this.
No, I think I'll just like after completing this thing, I'll just
Hmm.
scroll that thing, scroll the questions. I'm unable.
There.
Can you just share few more like messages? Can you
Okay.
just
So if it comes like this,
mm-hmm,
it will be like,
few for more messages so I'll be able to see whether I can like really scroll that thing or not? Because as of now, I'm not
okay.
getting any option.
No, can you see the screen?
Yeah, yeah, I can.
I'm displaying the messages on the screen.
Mm-hmm. No,
Can you see
yeah, I think it's better that I keep it like you just keep that thing
the old way?
the old way, right?
Okay, fine. So no chat overlay, and
Oh, or you
you
can do
can
that
just,
also because if I didn't,
up to you, however you're comfortable.
okay, just keep it
You
closed because what I'll do is that initially when I'm working like when I'm doing the DIY and until the question, I'll just keep it as full screen so I won't be able to see any comments.
okay? So after, when you start the questions, do you want me to display the chat on the screen,
No, after
or
once I do that, then what I'll do is I'll just uh like come out of the full screen and I'll be able to see the chats.
okay? So you're fine with
Yeah,
that.
I'm fine with that. I think this
Okay.
works better for me.
Um, if they ask you, for example, can you show the circuit again?
Mm-hmm. So,
Okay,
uh,
your response will be yeah, sure, and then I'll turn on the screen
okay,
and then explain something. Usually the questions are not so hardcore.
okay. What if
Uh,
someone
they'll
asks
just be
something
basic.
really, something like very difficult or which is not related to this thing or.
So, okay, so in that case, that also happened last week.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because Ashwini has been there from, like, I think quite some years. I joined recently, but he's there from 4 years
Mm-hmm.
almost. So one person, when he started the DIY, they were like, "Can I have your RFID project? I want the code for it." In this DIY, he put that question.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent it that time, because we were doing it on Zoom. I had to
Right.
send every question
Okay,
manually.
okay.
So in such cases, you can just say, you can refer to our website,
Mm-hmm.
electronicsforyou.com.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, fine. So,
yeah, so that's the thing. Any other questions in terms of can I have this? Can I have that? Don't worry about that. That I'll manage here only.
okay,
I can reply to the comments from here
okay.
in terms of anything. But usually I don't,
Okay,
because it'll give people the feeling that it's not a live
right.
session. So if there's anything that is not related to your DIY, you can directly say you can refer to electronicsforyou.com
Mm-hmm.
or contact our team.
Okay, okay,
That's it. But mostly it won't be as much.
okay, okay, fine, got it.
Yeah. So set.
Right.
Oh wait, I have to end the stream. So just close this session now.
Leave. Do you want me to leave? Okay.
No, no. Once you're done with the questions, how do you plan to close this